Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup. Hey, bro.
Howdy.
How you going?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Good. I'm looking at your posters and stuff in the background.
There's quite a few. They've been up there for a while.
I'm all about it. If you couldn't tell by this.
I was actually just talking about Evil Dead with Janine not too
Were
long ago.
you?
Yeah.
Oh.
She'd like, oh, what's your top 5 favorite horror films? And for me, it's Evil Dead 2 is number 1.
I think we just became best friends, bro. No shit.
Hell yeah.
No shit. Like, I have a shrine to Bruce Campbell, like, just right. No shit.
That's who we named the last track after on the record. We named Hail to the King after Ash Campbell. Ash Campbell, Ash Williams.
Hey, dude, it's all the same. It's all one and the same. Yeah, I can't even reach it here, but I've got like, if I can without destroying this. Pretty much. This is my.
Oh my god!
I've got like the movie.
That's so sick.
Yeah, Ash, and I've got a whole. That's the only one I could reach because the other ones were out of reach. But he's my boy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I've got Skeletor's holding the Necromonicon here, so
sick.
Yeah, I'm a 40-year-old virgin who's not a virgin. But anyway.
You're allowed to collect things. I love collecting. I actually have have a couple of things of my own that I like to collect. Like I try and find like really, really niche stuff. The last one that I got was do you know a video game called Gears of War?
Yes.
I have the Lancer replica from the Gears of War 2 run.
Sick.
Yeah. Like the big full size, like made out of like military grade plastic one. It's so heavy, but so sick.
Did you get that like Supernova or something, or did you order?
No. So they've done like runs of Lancers for the game since I think 3 or 4, but they've all been made out of like really shitty, cheap plastic, and they all cost like an arm and a leg. The ones that they did for Gears of War 2 were like these military, like basically indestructible full size Lancers, that you basically like can't get anywhere. And I think there's like maybe 10 of them in Australia, and over in the US they go for like 3 or 4 grand because people were just after them. I think down here, like I found a couple that were being sold for like $200 to $250 because people don't know what they're worth.
That's so insane, dude.
Yeah, it's so sick. I got it and I'm like, holy fuck, this thing is insane. And it's like, it's really well, like it's all like, I don't think it's hand painted, but like the level of detail on it is insane.
Man, it's when you find those grails and they're just like, someone's just like, meh, online, and you're like, what? He had
a couple of the ones from 3 as well, and I was so tempted to pick up like the retro Lancer as well, and I'm like, oh, but it's just not the same. It's just not the actual Lancer. Like it's so sick. It's my pride and joy. It's worth more than my car.
That's when you know you're a true nerd, is when you have certain things that are like, you know, more than it costs, hours more than you know. I'm not. I've got a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of stuff that's like vintage stuff that's incomplete and stuff, but I've got things that are special to me. So
very fair. I definitely feel that.
Like I just got the I've been hunting for many years. You know the new you know what I'm talking about when I say NECA. So the NECA RoboCop reissue.
Yep.
And mate, looked everywhere. Yes.
No, I think the Lance is a NECA issue as well.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's why it's like apparently after that they were so expensive to make that they like switched out to another one. And that's why like all the ones since then have been really cheap and nastily made.
Yeah.
And they like, because I remember picking up like the Gears 3 Retro Lancer, and it's like half a kilogram. It's full size, but it's like half a kilogram, if that, because it's just like completely hollowed out in the middle. Whereas like the Gears 2 like they did like other Lancers of that style like afterwards for 4, and it had like the stock on it and stuff like that, and it came in like multiple colors. I'm like, no, I want the original like Lancer. because that gun's just so fucking sick.
Is it hanging up?
Yeah, I've got it hanging up in my room. It's not at this house, it's at my dad's house.
Oh, okay.
But,
yeah, cool.
Yeah. But if I had it here, I'd bring it out. But like it's just so sick.
I'm all about it. Hey, next time we do this, make sure you can bring it out and
oh yeah, I for sure will.
But before we go on into nerd talk, I saw you Deadpool. Like that was good news this week, eh? Like good news.
Oh, I cried.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting on the plane and I almost screamed when I watched it. I was like, oh, I can't scream because I'm on a plane. And just the way they've been tackling it as well. It's like, oh, Logan's still its thing, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do our own thing. This is very cool. I mean, like it had to happen. I feel like it had to happen. Like whether it be Hugh that comes back to do it or somebody else. I think Taron Egerton was on the cards as well. But like, if it was gonna be a Deadpool film, like it had to have been Hugh. Because like their banter has just been back and forth for years. Like it can't not be Hugh.
I'm so there for it, man. I'm so there for it. Although at the moment, my middle daughter, she's obsessed with The Greatest Showman at the moment. Like literally on loop. She's probably heard me talking about it. But yeah, so I've got singing and dancing Hugh, you know, in the house at the moment. And all I want is
Wolverine.
Stank face Wolverine Hugh.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get there. But anyway, we're actually
anyway,
Janine's probably going, oh, come on, get the band talk going. But of course, Mikey, thanks for joining us on the show, man. It's been good to talk to you tonight.
Indeed, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, the new Gloom in the Corner album, Trinity, is out on October 28th. I've been lucky enough to hear it, and it's absolutely incredible, dude. Like this
Thank you.
Album concept, I believe, has taken a long time to flesh out. You put a lot of work into it. When did it first start to take shape for you?
The Gloom story itself, I've had kind of sitting around because I used to write and everything in school, and then I kind of adapted the story from a couple of like those stories I used to write in high school. So like a lot of the characters have kind of stayed the same and a lot of new ones have come in and out and stuff like that too. But the one specifically for Trinity, I've been working on pretty much since the start, I want to say, because like originally we were meant to go into this arc or this part of the story like pretty much right after Fimi back in 2016. And then we decided like, oh no, we're going to do like a couple of EPs and all that kind of stuff. And I took the time to like properly flesh it out. So really it's 6 years ish. But realistically, I think I want to say I've kind of nutted down the story properly and fleshed everything out probably 2019-ish.
Wow, man. And how was the music coming along with that at the same time?
Yep. There was a lot of different iterations of a lot of different songs and how I wanted to tackle it. I don't think any of the Red Clouds is the only song that has stuck around from that cycle, and it's actually been around since before Gloom was a band, or early iterations of the demos of it were still around. So I have been around for that long. But like everything else has kind of been fresh since started to be written 2018, 2019.
That's amazing, dude. I mean, that's a long time to be sort of fleshing. Yeah, I know you put a lot into it. You know,
I do. Yeah, it's quite a task.
Yeah, dude. And that's the thing. Like, you know, I understand as a singer and stuff myself, and writing lyrics and stuff, but having to base that through a long concept would be quite tiring. And how many times did you go back and forward with it until you were really happy with it?
I think like the songwriting itself and the lyrical writing kind of come in tangent with each other. So for me, whenever I start writing, because I'm the main songwriter in the band, whenever I start like writing a piece of music, it's always with the intention of what is going on in the story. And with that, like sometimes lyrics will come first, or like bars of lyrics will come first, and then I'll write the song around that. But again, like it's always based around like what is going on situationally in the story. And that does help quite a bit with lyric writing because it can kind of fill out like blanks and stuff like that and just work with wordplay to tell a situation or tell a story or an emotion, etc., like that kind of thing. But yeah, I feel like once you can't, like for me, once I kind of get like the actual song behind it done, it like the lyrics become a lot easier. It's just like figuring out the correct wordage or correct verbiage going forward and using and getting the message of the story across properly. And I feel like in Trinity, like what tells a lot of the story as well is not just the lyrics but the music. And I feel like that's something that we haven't really honed in on. But it's not just like the lyrics, it's the whole atmosphere of the song and everything like that. So like for example, like with Clutch, like it's about like the context so for, as well, like there's always a real life kind of underlying theme, at least throughout like a lot of the songs. For Clutch, for example, is about drink driving, and that's why the song is like so chaotic and kind of like on a not on a limp, because it's like on a limp while sprinting per se, but like it's very chaotic and very all over the place as someone who has been in that situation myself. And so I kind of wanted to deliver everything in that atmosphere of just kind of like chaos. It's also why we sampled the car crash from Fight Club at the end of the song. Yeah, underneath that last breakdown is like is the car crash and stuff like that to kind of like add to the atmosphere of like, oh, this is when the crash is happening. And so yeah, it's a lot of little things like that to just kind of like build out the atmosphere and not just hone you in with the lyrics, but hone you in with the entire song too.
In regards to the concept, it's really complex. Like,
yep,
you know, yeah, and I know I
Yep.
did see that you put up a you know, where like you've got a little bit of a guide, but you know, it's I don't know if we've got 3 hours, but if you could, like, for those playing at home, could you condense it down to where this album is at and where the characters are at?
Yeah, sure.
Links.
Yeah, so the previous arc was focused on a secret organization that focused on policing the supernatural and paranormal. And a lot of, like, most of the story, or the bulk of the story, focused around those agents or operators who worked in that organization, specifically Jay and Sherlock, who were like the two main protagonists, I guess, of the last arc, the dude with the skull on his face and shit like that.
Yeah.
This arc going forward is based in the hell dimension that we call the rabbit hole. And it's based around 3 characters who died in that previous arc. And in a divine comedy, I guess, inspired tale, it tells a story of their way, like clawing their way back up to the realm of the living, which is what happens like post Red Clouds onwards, is them back in that normal universe and how just chaos kind of goes from there. Yeah, I feel like that's the best condensed version I can give without giving anything away. There's so much, like there's like interdimensional factions and stuff like that of like bounty hunter police and stuff like that too, who are hunting them, and there's like one big ominous dude who's like kind of guiding them and shit like that. It's there's a lot going on.
I'm all for it, man. I love all that stuff. Hey, like, you know, and you got to put, man, the guests on this thing. Holy shit, dude. Like you've got like some incredible music. Like you got Mon from Reliqa. I got my list here. Ryo from Crystal Lake, Monica from Last Martyr. Man, good, excellent people. Taylor from man, like on and on and on. You've just gone and roped in all these guys. How did you approach it? Did you go, you're going to play this character, or is this?
Yeah, so for a couple of them, like Ryo and specific, like a lot of the bigger ones, like Ryo and Joe and Lauren and Kirby, we had Tuck, our manager, who's the bassist of Fit for a King, kind of middleman a lot of those situations. Okay. So he helped us out with getting like those much bigger names, whereas like everybody else on that list, like Taylor, Wit, Monica, like they're all like we're all friends. So like I kind of just hit them up. I was like, "Do you want to do this? Yeah, can you do this?" And Mon and Monica also do voice acting throughout the record as well, like playing those specific characters. So they're in a lot of, like, they're not just in their feature tracks, like they're in like a lot of the tracks too.
Oh, they're awesome. Both of them. Shout out to Mon and Monica. Like they're out there somewhere.
They're out there somewhere.
They're out there somewhere. Like, just, man, just two of the best people. Hey,
they are. They're lovely people.
Yeah, man. And that new Reliqa is so sick.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Like it's just, yeah,
It's so good. It's my EP of the year. It's fucked. It's so good.
I gotta say, I don't know what it is, but I kind of see a musical thread between you guys in some
A
way.
lot of people have said that too, and like, I got to hear the record early,
Yeah,
and I was like, because I saw a few people commenting like, oh, this is like Reliqa and stuff like that, and like I listened to Safety and Bearer and all those songs beforehand, and then when because I got up to do Sean's part at Monolith Fest,
yep,
and I was like, send me the record, and she was like, okay. And so I listened to, I definitely get the comparison. Like we have a lot of similar cinematic aspects or thematical aspects as well. And it's really cool because it means that we could tour together, and it would make sense.
Was that a hint?
No, we haven't got anything set in
stone
yet. Okay. This would be really cool.
Man, sign me up for that. That would be the best thing in the world.
It would be very cool. And they're all really lovely people too. Like I got to meet them all properly at Monolith Fest, and yeah, they're all lovely people.
How was that? Did you ever
It was cool. It was cool. Yeah, like I don't really go to a lot of prog shows or anything like that. So for me, the vibe was a lot different compared to going like a normal local Melbourne show or a lot of metalcore shows that I usually go to. But no, it was definitely cool. It's cool seeing that venue because we were meant to play that venue for Full Tilt before it got given the axe, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's cool, like seeing what it is, because I like when I looked up the venue, I was like, this just looks like a gigantic shed. And it was, but it's like a cool gigantic shed. But yeah, no, it was really cool. And like everybody, there wasn't like any, you know how sometimes you go to shows and like the vibe is off. Like it was all just a really nice, like cool kind of community to just kind of walk around and stuff like that. It was cool.
Man, and another thing, just cycling back a bit. I don't know if you saw the news, but Ryo, is that how you pronounce his name? Ryo,
yeah, I believe it is Ryo. Yeah,
he had to step away from Crystal Lake. I just saw. So yes, which is pretty sad. But you've got one of the last.
Yeah, we got told a little while ago, apparently that he had stepped away, and I was like, oh shit. We didn't give him context. Like we were just kind of like, oh, he's actually left, and we're like, huh? He's the dude. He is he is the Crystal Lake. But like he was pretty much like a lot of the face of that band. Like everybody listened to Crystal Lake or knew Crystal Lake because of Ryo and his vocal capabilities. And then I saw what he posted, and I'm like, damn, that sucks. And for him to be doing that for as long as he did that with the condition that he's in as well is like such a commendable and huge feat. Because like we didn't know, like when we got he was one of the people that Tuck kind of middleman, and we had no idea. So shout out to him, I guess. That feels weird saying that, but like no, I hope he's okay, because like that sucks. Like when he explained everything, I was like, that sucks. So
but it's cool that he's jumped on the record.
It is. It's also like a huge thank you to him as well, because like I have been meaning to message him personally and thank him on behalf of us, because it couldn't have been easy doing that kind of thing.
Yeah,
as said, in the condition that he's in. So commendable to him, not just as a performer but as a person as well, and we're eternally thankful for that.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. In regards to the concept and everything moving forward, what do you want to do? Do you want to expand it into like an animated series? If Netflix back the money truck up?
Yes. Yeah. Maybe not Netflix, because it would get cancelled after a season.
Oh yeah. How's that Cowboy Bebop going for you guys? Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started. Oh, as someone who's a longtime fan of Cowboy Bebop, don't get me started on that.
I'd hit a nerve. Yeah.
And actually, no, it's just funny that you bring up Cowboy Bebop, because one of the scenes in the Ronin music video was inspired by that version of Cowboy Bebop, funnily enough. But yeah, like we definitely want to expand into like a lot more. I want to expand into a lot more animated territory, or just more content in that universe itself. I think that would be really cool. But again, like it's a budget thing. But if Netflix back the money truck up, or Amazon back the money truck up, then
That Bezo guy's got a few dollars. You know,
He's got a couple. He can
got a couple
sling
of
one
bucks.
bald man to another a few bucks for.
Look, if you can spend $500 million on that Lord of the Rings, whatever it is,
then you can spend a couple of dollars on Gloom animation.
See?
So, hey, you want your answer to Cyberpunk Edge Runners? Hit us up. No?
Yeah, there you go. See? You want to tell me? We're putting it out there in the universe now.
There we go.
We're knocking on the door. You go, hey, man, how you going? Yeah, do you want to make sure? Yeah.
Here's
Here you go. Flies off in his helicopter. But when it comes to, I don't know what I'm talking about now. When it comes to your own influences, obviously, as we've established, we are very much the same kind of person. Metal and nerdy shit are one and the same. What's your influences when it comes to both those sides of the coin, and where do they cross over?
So yeah, a lot of influences for me, especially when it comes to story, come from a lot of TV stuff. I'd say actually the music is more influenced by TV music, TV movies, video games. It's like that line of pop culture, I would say, as opposed to other music itself, actually. But I mean, I guess from a musical side of things, like a lot of cinematic soundtracks or cinema OSTs, specifically like Ennio Morricone. He's always been a big one for me, and that's because that's my dad's favorite artist composer, sorry, as well. And he did like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and a lot of those spaghetti western. Yeah. Fuck, who else? I mean, like for a lot of the last arc, a lot of it was like The Punisher, I guess. And a book series called Skullduggery Pleasant. That's where that's how. Yeah, Sherlock is pretty much like my nod to Skullduggery Pleasant. Yeah.
Dude, you have not my eldest daughter. Like, she's 22, but I remember when she started getting into those books, and then I started reading them, and I was like, holy shit, this thing is really fucking good. It's really, really good.
It is really. I've been meaning to read the new series that he's put out, like the arc too. But like the second round of books that he's put out recently, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But like, I love those books growing up.
Yeah,
like everybody goes on Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. I'm like, fuck you, Skullduggery Pleasant.
More skeletons. If you couldn't see, I'm surrounded by skeletons. I like the bony people. But I cut you off there because I got all excited because you mentioned something that nobody mentioned. But
nobody talks about Skullduggery Pleasant. I'm happy to talk about Skullduggery Pleasant.
Dude, get me started. But,
what else? Let's see. Like a lot of video games. Like I said, I think we've got quite a few in this record. Like we've got like little shout outs or etc. Like the one that we have. I'm not going to talk about the ones that we haven't released, but in like Ronin, for example, like there's the E1M1 riff from Doom right before that verse. And stuff like that, like little homages and all that kind of fun stuff. In Warfare, in our last release, like we had did you ever play a game called Dead Space or know of a game called Dead Space?
Yeah, I played like half of it and then shit my pants and then just watched it on YouTube. Yeah.
So like that, you know how you die and it has like that piercing like tonal noise. It's like the EKG flatlining noise. Like we sampled that in Warfare and stuff like that. There's a few lyrics here and there. Like I think in Flesh and Bones, there was a reference to BioShock as well. But like a lot of our influence and etc. comes from a lot of video games. I guess for this release, like it's mainly like Dante's Inferno and the Divine Comedy has been a big aspect. So is Doom. If you couldn't see the poster on my wall.
Yes.
The older Dooms and the newer Dooms as well. Let's see. What movies could I say? I guess, I'm struggling with movies because I haven't watched like a whole heap that have been like, oh yes, I'm influenced by that recently. But it's just, it's all facets of pop culture, and I'll commonly like watch a show and I'll be like, oh, that character's a lot like that character, or that character's like this, or I can take influence from this and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'd say a lot more like video games and pop culture and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm all about it. I'm all about, man. We could probably next time you're up here, we'll grab a beer. We'll We'll talk
shit.
Nerdy shit. I'm all about it. But of course, I mean, this year's kept you pretty busy playing shows, man. You've been everywhere, man.
We have.
Man, what you've had some incredible experiences, man. What's been the highlight?
Highlight. It's a good question. That last run with Era that we did was actually really cool. I was saying to somebody before that like there's been like this shift in people that have been coming to shows, and it's probably because of the headlining acts for the most part, but like we've always been like a generally pretty violent live band. Like we always get quite a bit of a violent pit, and the last few shows that we've done have been very much more on like the push moshy kind of like normie crowd kind of side, which is really weird because like I'm used to like a lot of my like call outs and stuff like that are very much based around like emphasizing that violence within a safe manner, of course. But like, yeah, like these last few shows have been like a lot more like push moshy and everything like that. So it's been kind of cool to watch like that change. It's a good thing though, because like a lot more of like the outside of that like scene kind of crowd means that like they're getting into it. So people who are newer or people who like a lot more of like the mainstream or international metalcore acts are like coming to a lot of our shows now and enjoying it and buying merch and everything like that, which is really cool. So there's been like a little bit of a shift there, which has been really cool to see. In the last year, our headliner that we did last year was also really fucking cool because we had like all the visualizers and stuff like that running at 170 Russell. And that was really cool. The Wind Waker accidental headline show that we ended up doing because they got COVID. Yeah, that was, we found out like 2 days before that Will was like, yeah, I'm still positive. I'm still sick. I was like, fuck, what do we do? We'll take the show. We'll still do it. Everyone's already paid for the van and everything. Like we've already all taken the weekend off. Like we might as well just fucking do it and see how we go. And that show was really cool too. I think the fit run though has definitely been the highlight. They're really nice people. They're really cool to tour with. They're very accommodating. And like we're on with our friends in Starve and our new friends in The Wandering. Everybody on that tour package was just really, really lovely and very accommodating and everything. And the shows were really cool. Like it's not generally the crowd that we play to because they pull a much more like, I guess, metal crowd. But it was still really cool.
Man, I'm real bummed I missed that show.
Which show did you miss?
For an auto.
Sorry, I said which state? Sorry.
Brisbane.
Oh no, dude, be glad you did. No. We were all super sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, my voice like carked it halfway through the set. I was like, fuck.
When that happens.
Yeah. But that show was really cool. It was outside at the Bright Side as well.
Oh,
which like
yeah.
was terrifying for me because like I'm 5'5" and that stage is like 12 feet tall. And I'm like, if I fall off this thing, I'm going to fucking die. Like, that is it. Nick, our drummer, is like, oh, it's not that bad up there. It's really cool. You can see out over the entire crowd. I'm like, I'm going to die. Like,
it is
if Matt slips, he's going to die.
And it's a pretty big. Yeah, no, you are right. I've seen a couple of bands there and gone, it's a stage. So, you know.
Yeah.
And
it's really cool. It's a cool atmosphere.
I'm notorious for eating shit every single. As soon as the glasses come off, I've just started playing shows with glasses, and like every show for the last 20 years, I've at least fallen off stage once. So, you know,
that would be a sucky stage to fall off too, because it's not like security really have time to catch you because they're looking out at the audience.
Yeah. Tell my wife I love her. Just keep falling
into the bottomless pit.
Yeah. He's still going. Been 1 week. But what do you guys got coming up with shows? You got a headline run coming up or some sneaky shows up this week?
We're still working on some stuff. We're not sure what the plan is for the rest of the year, as of yet, or at least I don't know because I'm not fully in with the bookings. But I believe we're trying to piece together a couple of nifty little things to send out the year and then kickstart next year.
Excellent. Gold Coast in there somewhere?
I'm not sure. I can't say.
Oh, It's your mate Nev, bro. All right. Okay. All right. Keep your secrets, as I always say. But bro.
Frodo just okay,
yeah, I just Frodo everybody. Everyone's sick of hearing it. But mate, thank you so much for hanging out on the show. Mate, the new Gloom in the Corner album, Trinity. It'll be linking right down here. Somewhere
in the space.
In the space. We'll have all the links, mate, and it kicks ass. So go and pre-order it, everybody out there. Do it. Do it.
Please.
Do it. Do it. And buy some merch. Don't be jerks. Buy some merch. Throw them all the merch. But mate, I hope we get to do this again and talk all the nerdy shit and get
Indeed, I hope so too.
Evil Dead.
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe after Evil Dead Rise comes out.
I was gonna say, did you watch Ash versus Evil Dead and like have seen the announcements for Evil Dead Rise?
Yeah.
I take it you have.
I'm all over it, dude. The shrine. Actually,
the shrine.
Yeah. Actually, a friend of mine was in the last season.
Oh, true.
And I can't say who it is. I'm not allowed. She's told me I'm not. But she was in there.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So it was cool. She was all like, "Oh, I was in the show." It's like, tell me what he's like.
It's funny though. Have you seen interviews and stuff like that with him? How he's just like completely out of that character, and he's like, I love playing Ash because he's just completely different to what I am in real life. He's like a scholar, and then when he plays Ash, he's just a complete doofus. It's awesome. I love Bruce Campbell.
He's like very high on my interview wish list. I just want him to just burn me for like, just the way he does. Just. I've seen an interview. He's just relentless, and I love it. I'm just like, yeah, man, just go to town, just destroy me. I don't care. Best day of my life. But
hell yeah.
Anyway, hey, bro, thank you so much again, and we will see you very soon. I hope, man.
Indeed, thank you for having me.